Hi, chat. Hi. Happy Thursday. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm really excited to do story time with you guys. Today I'm going to be playing Dear Esther, the Landmark Edition. I don't know what the difference is with the different variants and stuff, but I don't know if there's like just a plain old Dear Esther. I don't know. I don't know if this one's like better. I don't know. I've never played this game, so this is my first playthrough with this. So that's I'm a little nervous. Not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous, but I do know that this is a story game. It's an indie game, and according to Steam, it's a walking simulator and it's an adventure. So I hope all of you are ready to embark on this adventure with me. And I hope I don't get lost or stuck on a rock or, you know, on anything. And I hope I just don't get lost, period. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's yeah. I'd say let's go. Let's start. Let's go. And I must say that this music is absolutely beautiful. I love this music. Yeah, let's go. I don't know if this is sad. I hope this isn't sad. Yeah, okay. I'll shut up. Let's go. Progress is saved at the end of each chapter. What is director's commentary? Probably the commentary of the director. I don't want that. So let's just start at the lighthouse.
Dear Esther, I've lost track of how long I've been here and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me.
Wow.
I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I've always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Perfectly. If you cannot, let me know. If stuff's too loud, let me know. That toilet looks disgusting. Oh, here's more sheet music. Oh, I didn't even know I could zoom in. I don't know what this says. That's in a different language. This game, so detailed. Oh my god. This thing looks awful. There's more of those brochures, by the looks of it. Or more sheet music. I wonder, yeah, it's like the cover of the sheet music. Get the shit out of me. What is this? European Food and Goods Convention. Wolverhampton? 1970 something. Something at on lot. Something office on left. Huh. I think I'm being followed. Go over here. I can't do anything. No, I can't do shit. Hi. Oh, these are elements, aren't they? More sheet music. Wow. More paint. Here. Can I go up the hill? Oh. Rocks won't let me. Wow. Oh. Am I even supposed to be going this way?
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
How do I get up there? If this is actually a horror game, I don't know. Oh, this is where our adventure ends. I can't run. I wish I could sprint. I think this is the way that I came from. Yeah, because there's the... Okay, so there's the houses. So yeah, we go this way. I hope everybody's Thursday has been good. Yeah. Mine was okay. It was quiet. It was chill. I didn't do much. These rocks look amazing. Excuse me. That's where I fell. that supposed to be like an off-brand of Coca-Cola? That's funny. Don't litter, chat! Pick up your trash. You can see the mist coming off the ocean. That is so cool. My screen's not too dark for you guys. I'm looking at my stream myself and the screen looks dark.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained. Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend, but then he didn't have my reasons.
I feel like we're getting like snippets of like a story, because I'm not going, like, I feel like I'm not going the right way for some reason.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh. They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions? Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
In the house. Our elements. That looks like a lobster. It's like arteries or veins or something. They don't look like trees. Like blood vessels.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
What the hell is this? about that. Oh, that's trippy. I see I have a couple lurkers in here. I bet one of them is Rev. I bet another is Ev. And I bet another is Joker. And I can't think of the other two. I gotta go down there? I'm gonna break my no legless body. Apparently I'm just a walking phenomenon. Let's see if I can make it easy on myself. Oh.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turnoff for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rearview mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
I love how you can hear like my footsteps. There's that blinking light again. I'm wondering if that's a lighthouse over there. Or like some tower or something.
An imagined answer phone message. The tires are flat, the wheel spins loosely, and the brake fluid has run like ink over this map, staining the landmarks and rendering the coastline mute, compromised. Where you saw galaxies, I saw only bruises cut into the cliff by my lack of sobriety.
I see. Did he eat or drink? And neither did he eat or drink. Wonder if I can go on those boats. bugs me that this like ship's not moving with the water. Payload CU cap.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Is this the island? It has to be. It's supposed to be the layout of the island. Interesting.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Does that mean that Esther got hit? It was in a car accident that was caused by a drunk?
What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss? How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
Dark thing to think about. It's a very dark thing to think about. Are you okay, mister? Guessing the trigger back here. Probably. So let's
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore. The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career.
Hey,
the first
Fallen.
habitual shepherd
You're
was a man called
welcome.
Jakobsen,
Thank you
from
for
a
the
lineage
follow.
of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Sure what they are. They're like triangles or something. Uh-oh. Oh, my God.
Inventory. A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary, the bed with the broken springs. Once asleep you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes, Donnelly's book stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here. I will burn them all on the last morning and make an aerial of my own.
Aww. That's a baby picture. That's a baby. Sonogram, that's the word. That's sad. time. There is no way I could walk this. Absolutely not.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
That's dark.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story. Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
What kind of noises were those? Oh, I really didn't want to do that, but...
Did Jakobsen crawl this far? Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent? I first saw him sat by the side of the road. I was waiting for you to be cut out of the wreckage. The car looked like it had been dropped from a great height. The guts of the engine spilled over the tarmac, like water underground.
I have goosebumps right now, Chad. Like, I kind of... I don't know how I feel right now. Sad? Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. Wow. I wonder what it's making it glow like that. Wow. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Stalactites in the way. The stalagmites are the one from the ceiling, and the stalagmites are the one from the floor. I believe that's what they're called on the floor. Oh wow. How can I not fall? Like these rocks must be slippery. Going a lot faster now.
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
Hi, Fallen. Welcome back. How are you, Fallen? Over the texture of this. Like, you can tell these rocks are wet. Like, you can reach out and touch them and you'll get wet. Your hand will get wet. I love how you can see the reflection of the water on the ceiling. Wow. There's the Mr. Rev. There's all mushrooms and they're just not loaded incorrectly. They're supposed to be little mushrooms and they're not loaded incorrectly.
I will hold the hand you offered to me, from the summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
I don't know what that something Scus is taken. What the fuck? Array from being a city. And it some small something be a something heap, ruinous heap. Wow. At the top. I did all this climbing for nothing? What the heck? Baby crying. Soundtrack of this game. Love it. Got my way out. That looks like my way out. Guessing I just learned how Esther died. Or something. Something about Esther.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sandford Junction is too strong.
Been quite an experience so far, Rev. This game is absolutely beautiful. The music is amazing. And you're just by yourself wandering this island.
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
On his body. No wonder he can't run. He's carrying a corpse. Candles. That is in that picture, but a little creepy. In memory of Esther. Maybe my feet didn't just catch on fire.
There were chemical diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time. Still life abstractions of the processes which had already begun to break down your nerves and your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I once crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life.
Light from heaven shone around. Him.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Aww. Put her ashes in each crevice of his little boats. That's so sad. Poor guy. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Poor guy. Because I gotta get up there. Warning, flashing lights.
Come back.
Oh. I didn't see that up there. Wondering if that's my destination up there. That tower.
When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they resuscitated him by hitting him in the chest with stones gathered by the roadside. He was lifeless for 21 minutes, certainly long enough for the oxygen levels in his brain to have decreased and caused hallucinations and delusions of transcendence. I'm running out of painkillers, and the moon has become almost unbearably bright.
There's a person. Hello? Person? Is that Esther? No, Esther's dead. Is it him? Like, is it himself?
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
There was a person standing here. You all saw that, right? There was a person standing here. And now there's not. There's somebody else on this island with me. What the fuck? And as he was proceeding on his journey, swear to God, I thought there was a person back there. Standing at the candle. Where the frick would they go? Okay, now my heart's starting to race. That was come near something. I don't know what that last word is. I don't know what that last word is.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection. Headlights reflected in these retinas. Too long in the tunnels of my island without a bottom. The sea creatures have risen to the surface, but the gulls are not here to carry them back to their nests. I've become fixed, open and staring, an eye turned on itself. I've become an infected leg whose tracking lines form a perfect map of the junctions of the M5. I will take the exit at mid-thigh and plummet to my Esther.
Oh. has it made me journey and something. Oh boy. My journey and something. I don't know what the rest of that says. From heaven, a great light round about me. And oh, I fell off.
Come back.
Thank you.
A gull perched on a spent bonnet, sideways, whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking, old bread and gull bones, old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink, old Esther walking with our children, old Paul as ever, old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Trying so hard not to look down.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him?
No.
I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an Ariel, a beacon that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Oh my God. expect this to be a sad game.
Come back.
Oh my god. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's all I can say. Holy cow. I have absolutely no words. I am absolutely speechless right now. I had a slight feeling that when he mentioned that he was gonna drive his vehicle off the 9 or off the 95 or whatever he said so he could finally see Esther, I had a slight feeling of what was gonna happen for the ending and I was not prepared. I'm at least grateful that the developers in the game didn't make me do it. It was like built in and oh my god, I feel so helpless. Shit. I have no idea what to say. Oh, it was made with Unity. Oh, that's so cool. Oh. And that's it. And that's it. Wow. That's all I can say about this game. I think I will do another game, and I think it will be another story game. I have played this one before. Wow. All I can say. Wow. Oh gosh. I believe I will be right back. I need to gather my thoughts after that. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm here. I'm still wrapping my head around what happened, but holy shit. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. So I had, here, let me just pause my music. I believe I still have some OGs in here. A long time ago, I played What Remains of Edith Finch. And that game is another emotional one. Just fair warning. But it's another adventure storytime game. And this game is by far my favorite. Personally. I will. Let's do new game. Yes. Okay. I have to. All right. So. This is What Remains of Edith Finch, and this game is a story game. It's another story game. Oh no, I didn't want to do credits. I wanted to do audio. Okay, that's good. But yeah, this. I'm not gonna say much about it because it's a really good game. But yeah, I played this once before, and I don't have access to the VOD from me playing this previously, and I got so many amazing feedback from people that they loved watching me play this game. I don't remember a lot about this game. I remember these people, but I don't remember. Obviously, as you can see, they have death dates. Obviously, they all died. But we are playing as Edith, and yeah, I don't remember how all these people died, so I'm really interested to find out and relearn this whole story with you guys again. But Ev, I hope you're still watching because I'm going off of your recommendation because you've never seen this. So yeah, and I'm okay, guys. I'm okay. I am okay. I'm still wrapping my head around it, like I said, but yeah. Anyway, let's go. Let's move on. New game. Another story game. I don't know if I'll do all this tonight. I have no idea, because I do know that this is a long game. I know that. So maybe we'll just do half of it. I don't know. Depends on how it goes. Okay, let's go. No, open the book. Oh.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
I'm going to turn up master. Okay, hopefully everything sounds goody. Okay. I'm gonna close Spotify so I don't accidentally play Spotify. And I also won't be doing any reading in this game. This is mostly audible.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
No.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Oh, I can get my...
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Leave? No, I'm pregnant. The character's pregnant.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Oh, hello. Oh. Hi.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
I don't know why my stream looks so dark. 'Cause it's not that dark on my screen. Does it look that dark on my phone? Hold on. I'm experimenting. Hold on. Yes, it does. That's odd. Does that help? Kind of. Maybe I won't keep that. I did not break it, Omni. Also, hi, welcome to the stream. But I
The
didn't
house was
break
exactly
it.
like
Oh
I
gosh,
remembered
that
it,
scared me.
the way I'd been dreaming about it.
No! Don't break it! No! 'Cause I don't know how to fix it. Hey, Rev! I did not break the stream. I don't know what you're talking about.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
That does look better. I am playing What Remains of Edith Finch. I've played this game once before, and it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite story games, honestly. And I got a lot of feedback.
As a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
this way.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
It didn't. No, it's gotta get you. It'll so get you, Rev. Oh gosh. I don't want to hate this game. Can I look for the people? I guess not. That's rude. Thank you guys. I'm speechless.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Yeah, people for peeping. I thought I could look through the fucking people for peeping, but I can't.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Peep peep. This girl is on fire. Yeah, I'm so spicy. How you doing, Omni? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Crazy Cat House. I had one of those pools when I was a kid.
For the first time in years,
Eddie, Edie, Dawn, Lewis, Milton, and Edith. Oh, sorry.
I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
The specific pantry, the Book of Mushrooms, the Northeast Chef, Tanning the Sea, Taming the Sea, A Fisherman's Guide.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Apple pie.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Beep beep. Is there a thing on the stove? You guys are nuts. I love your faces.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
I have weirdos in my chat.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
This house is beautiful.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
A lot of books.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
No. That's how you go. Every time.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
No, I don't want to go up there just yet.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Right? Those hand warmers look so nice and so warm.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
No. Oh, God damn it.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Sorry, I had to.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
Go back where? To the table? Here? Oh, Rev.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Where is her gerbil?
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
You would eat your fish?
I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Oh.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Your mom and dad look weird. Where do I... Oh.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Oh, I missed the chair.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit.
And I didn't chew.
Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Ugh.
And suddenly, I was a shark.
What the fuck? You're on something.
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seeds. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
I have no idea what monster she is now.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Close the book. There we go.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
She already knew.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
No.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
I hate this carpet.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Alvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe I'd
This
still
always
be
makes
here.
me dizzy.
But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
So dizzy. My goodness.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was canceled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him. Right on cue.
Right on cue.
She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman Killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then
Yeah.
act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
and she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played. Was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Surprise! Bravo, Barbara! You were wonderful! The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now I think we go up.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Excuse me.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Don't blame him.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Don't go tame the monster.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Possibly. You don't conquer it, whatever it is.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere.
Somewhere. Albinos.
Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Well, here we go. Let's go. I'm gonna have to.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
Tomatoes. Jiggly jam. Jiggly Farms.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Or anyway.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
Well, that's sad.
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
It's very sad.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Bob.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Walter did not catch his train.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
And thank you for the follow, Omni. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Crazy Cat House. I hope you enjoy your stay. The train caught him, yes. The train did catch him.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Still wonder what happened to Milton.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
I hope your day, evening, night is going well, Omni. I hope your day is today. Thursday? Thursday. I hope your Thursday's going well for you.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Oh, that's not the family cat.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Oh, I didn't mean to take that picture.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Nothing quite like being outside.
Hold still up.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Oof. I don't like that one. I appreciate all my lurkers tonight and all my chatters so far. How many do we have left? We have a couple. I think I'll stick it out. I think I will finish this one. Yeah.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish you could have told us. He'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now
remembered.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Okay.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
Goodness. So dark.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Excuse me.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
Oh, there's something up there. I can close out my hair.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Louis rules. Huh.
But it didn't last.
Smartypedia.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Oh, it's right here. No. Open it. There we go.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
So we got lost in the house? Huh.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Trippy.
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. and songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Oh, shit.
The prince was on his own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him.
Poor guy.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Molly's advisor, I love that.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh, kind of suspicious. Very suspicious.
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Ow.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
He seemed like a cool...
On the way back from Louis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories! I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. Poor girl. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Oh, so bright.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Say it was nice playing through that game again. It's really nice. I enjoyed it a lot again. And I hope you guys did too. That's for sure. I wouldn't have done it any different, that's for sure. Proud of myself for not crying at the end like I did last time, because I did last time when I played this. But yeah, I'm still curious to wonder what happened to Milton. I want to know what happened to him. Did he like get kidnapped? Did he get lost in the house? And I just never found him? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm definitely... I liked playing this for you guys, and same with Dear Esther. I liked playing that one too. That one, the end of that one, definitely caught me off guard. I was not expecting the ending of that, but yeah. I definitely enjoyed playing these games for you tonight. I believe, though, this is where I'm going to end my stream for the night. I will probably be, there we go, English is tough sometimes. I will probably be streaming tomorrow. I'm not really sure what I'll be playing tomorrow, or when. But it will probably be something interesting and something fun. So, I would say that it was a good stream, and I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all enjoyed it with me, and I hope you enjoyed the stories that you heard tonight, and I hope you enjoyed story time with Kat for the second time. I know I need to do more story times. I know I need to get on top of that and look for more story time games, because I love listening to stories. I'm a huge bookworm, so. But yeah, I hope you all have a great night. Stay safe. Yeah. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, have a great night and blessed be. Mwah. Good night, chat.